Hi, everyone. I'm Kanani Briggs, the lead agent with the Curtain team. And today, in our Rightsizing with Confidence resource series, I'm joined with Rebekah Lignugaris of Organize for Health. She's a professional organizer and owner of Organize for Health. And these short conversations are really designed to help you understand the support that's available for you in the right sizing process and to connect you with the right experts when the time is right. So let's get started. So, Rebekah, thanks for joining. And for someone who isn't familiar with your work, what do you do and how do you help most?
Okay, so I have basically three core areas. One is residential organizing, and that naturally led into move management. And then the third kind of offshoot of what we do is kind of event help. So during the holidays, or if you're having an event at your house, we come in and there's a lot of different things we can do to support our clients during that time. So really, in general, it's all organizing. And during life transitions, it can kick up a lot of chaos, and moving is one of those. It's one of the top three most stressful things you can do in life, and our services complement that process, and we are here to help reduce stress.
Perfect. I love
Basically,
that. Yeah, life transitions can definitely be very stressful. So you kind of answered my next question, which was how does your work usually show up for a client who is right sizing or downsizing?
yes. Okay, so we help with all different types of moves, as you can imagine. So upsizing, right sizing, downsizing, senior moves, all the sizing. And so in right sizing, what I find is that, some people think, oh, it's just a lateral move. Um, and it can be like same square footage, but it can be completely different, totally different layout. And so what we're doing, uh, similar to the organizing process during a right size move, is that it's kind of, you're living with things that were in the past. And so the house was set up for your past life, and how it functioned for you then doesn't necessarily translate to what's going on in this new space that you're going to have, even if it's the exact same size. And so that's where our skill set comes in, because we can help kind of reimagine, how is this space going to function for you now in the present. And the same thing would be for downsizing, except there, we really have to be very aware of the space and what's really going to fit, and have those conversations. But with right sizing, it's a lot more about function
Yeah,
in the new space.
yeah, I love that. So more about such a combination of not just stuff, it's lifestyle and how are you going to live and how are you envisioning living in this new space and setting it up to support
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And how can we make it the most efficient for you? How can this
Yeah.
house work for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wonderful. When do people usually reach out to you, and when do you wish they would reach out to you?
Such a good question. Um, Oftentimes, people reach out in the crunch time, and given that we like to reduce stress,
Yeah.
including our own, we really enjoy that lead time, because it really does reduce overall stress. If you consider, um, which people do, all the different moving parts, if you will, in a move. There are many. And so it's really good to be able to take the time to make a good overall plan, and be able to really manage this project well. And so with that comes a little bit more planning time. So even up to several months before you're moving, if you just get in contact with with us, we can make sure that, you know, do you have, do we need to declutter? Is that something that we're doing? And that's a whole process in and of itself. Are you selling items? Are you going to have an estate sale? Are you going to sell them any other way? Are you going to need to stage? Are we going to help you prepare for that staging process? Because we can do that too, with kind of pre-packing and depersonalizing
Right.
and stuff like that. You know, are we going to do the pack, or do you want us to fully pack your house? We can do that. Have you picked out your mover? On the other end, we can fully unpack and we can organize and we can set up your space for you. You know, what are we doing? And then within that, as we all know, during the moving process, a lot of times the time frame shifts, various things happen. And so just having that time to sort of pivot as the project needs to is preferable. So we
That
like to
makes,
have time.
yeah. Yeah. So basically, as much time as they can give you is always a benefit. Yeah.
It's always a benefit.
Yes.
Yes, and we can, I mean, and of course, if we can jump in, we will. So just because
Sure.
we offer all of these services doesn't mean our clients necessarily need or want all of those services. And so if it is, you know, kind of a last minute call, we will do whatever we can. I do have a team of organizers, so we will do whatever we can to help.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And that kind of leads right into the next question, which is if someone hired you, what does that process look like?
Well, generally we have, you know, kind of an exploratory call, and we talk through, and this is specifically for moving clients. We talk through the gamut, and then we decide where they need the help or if they want all of the help. And we make a plan, and then we can do a walkthrough with them so that we really have a good understanding of, if it's a local move, we can do both spaces. And then from there, I get my team involved and we start with the process depending on which of those pieces that they want us to do. So whether we're decluttering first or we're packing or we're helping with all of those pieces. And of course, I have a robust resource list that I, you
Yeah.
know, can help them find who does what and all of that. So
Very, very helpful. And I would assume on that kind of exploratory call, you probably are getting into some of whether you intend to or not, some of the emotions probably arise with the transition. What are some of the biggest emotional challenges you see people dealing with at this stage?
So it depends on what type of move that we're talking about sometimes. But all of the moves generally, I've talked about stress, but it's a real factor, because it can bring up a lot of different emotions. So that is something that we like to process through. And as far as the actual belongings, um, a lot of times, mostly with the downsizing, but also with right sizing, um, not all of the possessions make the cut, and we have to process through. I call it like the emotional belongings, and I kind of they are their own thing, and I can tell during the process what the triggers are and which items cause the most emotions to arise, and we really work through those. We have to process them. It's like anything, you can't go around it. You have to go through it to get to the other side emotionally. And so it's not that they can't bring X, Y, and Z. It's not that organizers force them to get rid of things. It's just sometimes it's um, physics, like space, and this is what's going to fit. So let's really talk about this and how can we reimagine or repurpose or, honor you in your past, with specific things, but maybe not everything. And
Yeah.
so that's the emotional side of things that we help with.
Yeah. Love that. What would be one helpful step, something that someone could do right now if they're considering right sizing or downsizing, what's one thing that they could do right now to help them kind of start this journey and make it a little easier, besides calling you?
Aside from contacting me, just kidding. I would say declutter. Um, if that's something that needs to be done, which most of the time it is with the people that I encounter, um, that saves it. It just makes sense to go through that effort because it makes everything else um, less stressful, more organized, and more meaningful and intentional. And then by the time you get to the other side, whether we're unpacking you or you're unpacking yourself,
Right.
your future self will thank you for only moving things. William Morris said that. He said, work towards having nothing that isn't useful or beautiful. And so if you keep that in mind as you go, when you get into your new space, it just makes it that much more easier to unpack and organize and get things set up and just take a breath and feel like you can get live your life, step into the life that you were living easier, and that chaos doesn't kick up
I
quite
love
as
that.
much. So I would say just really be mindful about what you're moving.
Yeah, I love that. What was it? It was if it's not useful or beautiful. I love that. Well, thank you, Rebekah, for joining us. I know there's, so much more that we could dive into, but I just wanted people to get a sense of you and your team. I know from clients we've had great experience with your team, so we are very grateful that you're one of our partners for our right sizing campaign. And so thank you for being with us today. And at the Curtain Team, we believe when you move smart, you live better. And right sizing with confidence starts with having the right information and the support that you need. Thank you.
Thank you so much.